Today's a big day for the Cosmere miniature community because we just received our STL files from the Cosmere RPG Kickstarter. And in this video, I'm going to review all the files and we're going to see if there's anything different from what was originally posted in the Kickstarter to what we received here, and be able to look at the size of the files and just in general review these STL files and see what has been delivered. So without further ado, let's jump in. So this is the digital downloads page that I received. You can see up here at the top, I got STL's Part 1, Part 1 Number 2, Part 2, and Part 2 Number 2. So a few folks on my Discord mentioned that some of these STL files are pretty large, and that might be some of the reason why these are in separate packages. So let's go through and download these. Okay, so for some context here, those files took probably 10 to 15 minutes on my bandwidth here. I don't really have good bandwidth in my office. Each of these compressed files is more than 1 gig, and some of them are 1.6. Really interested to see what's in these zip folders, so let's go check it out. So I stored them in with the rest of my STL files from the original Kickstarter. So we'll start with this first one, extract all. Okay, so we got them all extracted here. These are the 4 compressed files that we extracted out. So let's go through each of these one by one. This is A through E. This looks like it's pre-supported, pre-supported, unsupported, pre-supported, pre-supported, unsupported. Interesting. So let's go through an example of one of these. The agent. This is the base for the agent. And so right off the bat, it looks like they gave us the option to print the bases separately. This was a huge thing for the community and the Stormlight miniatures, is that trying to paint the miniature when it already had the base on it is pretty difficult at times. And so having them separate is fantastic. So here's the agent pre-supported. And something interesting here is that it is tilted, and a lot of the printing files that I've seen, it's better to do this just for the way that 3D printers work, where the older files, if I come back over here, I'll do one of the Alethi. The older files, they had the base built in, and it was just a straight up and down, and so this base right here could kind of get flattened and not print very well, and then the rest of the mini kind of got messed up a little bit when you printed it out. Some people were able to figure it out, but it looks like they heard the community and they're making adjustments, which is fantastic to see. So let's check out this unsupported one. So here you can print them like this, and in your 3D printing software, now I don't have a 3D printer yet, I'm going to be using my friend's printer, but in your software, you can turn it, you can add supports yourself to it to make it better that way. In a sense, what they've done is given us a few different options of how you prefer to print out your miniatures. So fantastic stuff there. That was the agent, the altered one. Let's check this one out. That's just a base. It could be interesting to take some of these bases and print a bunch of them for my Warhammer armies. I have this idea of an Asish, however you say that, army, and I want them to be based in the capital city, and so like more of an urban terrain. And I see this base, and I'm like, this could be great for my army. Who knows? I might use some of these. Very cool. So I'm not going to go through all of these, but we have a bunch. So that's A through E, the first set, and I'll go through the second set here. So it looks like I just downloaded double, the same thing twice. This is what they're talking about. They came out with a update a few hours after they released things, saying that there's some things that are duplicated, and it looks like my STLs were duplicated. And so if I look and compare this one to this one, they are exactly the same. So I didn't even realize that, and I thought this number 1 and part 1 and part 1 number 2. I thought those were separate files. They are the same files. So in reality, you only need part 1 and part 2. If you have more than that, you've got duplicates. You don't need to spend time downloading them. Learn from my mistakes, friends. Okay. So let's go to the other half, H through Z. So this one is husked 1, magnified 1, shadow form. That's the base. Yeah, these bases are really cool. I might have to print out a lot of extra. Interesting. Oh, I do want to check out the white spine. I think this is going to be one of the first ones I print. I think the white spine just looks awesome. And also the magnified one. Yeah, that guy looks sweet. This guy will go great in some kind of army of mine, or to fight my army, I guess. So looking through the file sizes, you can see a lot of them are pretty large. Some of the bigger ones are large as well. The Skybreaker pre-supported, massive, unsupported, also big. So there's some of the bigger ones. Some of the more complex ones have larger file sizes. Okay, so let's check out and see how many minis we actually have. And I put them all into the same folder on my desktop just to make it easier. And over here, I've pulled up the original Kickstarter to kind of go through and see which ones we have. So let's start down here with the add-ons. So we have an altered one, and I'll select them when we have them ready. Altered one, we have the deepest one. We have the shadow form, not storm form, shadow form. Looks like those are the ones that they announced. So then we can go back up to the top. And go through here. So we have the Axe Hound. I think this is the Artifabrian. These are the storm forms. Not sure who that is. This one is the devastating one. I think so. And then, oh, who is this one? Not sure on that one. I know we don't have the Troll. We have the Skybreaker. We have the Will Shaper. We have this guy. I think he might be the Zealot, potentially. This guy's the magnified one. Husked one. Dustbringer. Ardent. Who's this guy? Elsecaller? Edge Dancer? Oh, this guy's the Edge Dancer. This guy's the Agent. There's the White Spine. I think she's the Elsecaller. So from what I can see, I think we have a few different ones than were originally anticipated, which is great. We have the Bright Lady, we have Yilt, and we have the Zealot. We also are missing the Chol. They made an announcement about that. They're going to bring the Chol out separately. It's always fun to have a Chol around. So let's check out the Bright Lady and then these other ones. So this looks like a fun miniature. It seems to be maybe an NPC, or maybe one of your players can play a Lethe Bright Lady. This could be great. I do have a thought of using her potentially in one of my Warhammer armies as a character. Getting like an Alethi officer wife or something like that could be interesting. So that's a great mini right there. Yilt. Yield. I have no idea how to say that. I apologize. Oh, this guy. We have him. He's right here. Obviously, I don't know who he is. Can someone tell me who this guy is? And then we have the Zealot, or Zealot, depending on who you talk to. This guy looks fun. And some nice armor, a little sword and buckler going on here. Pretty cool stance, moving forward, about to take you out. I like it. I like it. He could fit really well into a Warhammer army as well. So I think these minis are fantastic. The level of detail looks really good. And I'll be meeting up with my friend in a couple days to print out some of these miniatures. Still haven't decided if I'm going to do all of them yet, or just some of them. And so I will put out a video once I print out some of them to give you a full review of some of the prints. And then when the new miniatures come, or the physical miniatures come that are produced, should be coming in September, I think. I'll be sure to put out another video about that as well. So subscribe, like, comment, do the YouTube things. Appreciate the support, and I'll see you on the next video.